When you discovered the law of attraction, you started to believe anything was possible. Life got better, much better. Now you want more, but it's not working. That's where the Manifest It Now show comes in. If you've been waiting for someone who can teach you the practical application to manifest quicker and easier while having more, turn the volume up, because the dynamic duo, Cassie Parks and Ginny Gane, are ready to teach you how to live the law of attraction like they do. It's time to laugh and learn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Manifest It Now. I'm here with Cassie Parks.
And I'm here with Ginny Gane.
And our topic for today is how your beliefs might be limiting your ability to manifest.
This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it's really core to all of manifesting. How your beliefs play a role and what that looks like, how that shows up in your life. So we're going to get into that.
Awesome.
But Cass, what are you excited about?
I am excited about how much I love my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I was thinking about it. I dropped my niece off to my sister today so that we could record, and I was just thinking about, like, just when I, got home, I was like, man, just like, I love my life. I love the way it flows. I love the extra money that's flowing in. I love the opportunities. I love the shifts and growth that have happened in my business this week. Just seeing stuff, and what I love about it is it's so easy. Like, it's like, oh, okay, there's the answer. And, oh, okay, like, set that up now. And it's just easy.
Yeah.
So
you're connected to that flow.
Absolutely.
And even though there's decisions and things that take, I don't want to say effort, but conscious attention, it's still easy.
Yeah. And what I will say, I mean, and I know this, and I think I definitely knew it to be true, but, sometimes Jenny, and I won't speak for Jenny, but I still, like, just because I know it, just because I know it's my future self, just because I know it's the decision, doesn't always mean, like, if it doesn't feel good, I don't just, like, do it, and I don't mean doesn't feel good in, like, some things you have to do to grow don't feel good. And sometimes I put off some of those decisions or whatever, but I made one a couple weeks ago, and I can just see all of the opening, and I can see the response for the universe that, like, that was a great choice. And it's so fun. And it just everything, I knew when I made that choice, like, everything would get bigger, but it's still, like, I don't know if you still get to this place, Jen, but, like, it's still like, I'm not ready. I don't want to. It doesn't feel good. This is uncomfortable. Certain decisions and certain things. And even though I know it's going to get better, like, you don't know what's going to get better. Right. And so it's just like, you still have to trust, even when you've been doing this for a really long time. And it's still fun for me to go through the process and to experience that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that we don't ever stop going through the process. And that going through the process is consciously with awareness is the fun part. Like, we're here to be creators. We're not here to ever get it done. I was thinking this thought earlier this week, about how we don't ever get to stop being deliberate. Like, that's
right.
Why we're here. So even when you learn this manifesting thing, and you learn how to focus your thoughts, and you're learning how to own your power and all these things, and be your future self, it doesn't ever end. It's just not like, okay, I've got my degree in manifesting and I can just, do whatever I want, think about whatever I want, because that's not how it works. So I liked remembering that. I was reminding one of my clients about that, because it's fun. That's the part of our purpose here, is to be deliberate and watch your desires come into reality.
Yes. And it is so fun. Yeah.
It gets more fun. I think it gets more fun the easier it gets. It gets easier the more you practice it and pay attention, just like we say. So
absolutely. Yeah.
It's one of the things I'm excited about too. Is I was saying last night to Lisa, I didn't really expect this, but I've been noticing that I am letting go of little things that may have bothered me in the past quicker. Like I'm not holding on to them. And it's been a while since I've observed kind of like that kind of growth in myself, because I'm pretty easygoing and pretty aware. And so to feel another level of that is super exciting. Like there's just a couple things Lisa has said, my mom has said, something with a friend, and I can be very sensitive depending on where I'm at. And those things in the past would have bothered me, but I observed the feeling, like observed my reaction, and then, but there was nothing to change. I'm like, oh, I was light. I didn't take it. I didn't carry it on. And I think that's one of those, which then makes my whole day easier and allows me to feel good more often easier. But I think this is one of the things that comes from like over time, the consistency of practice. It's not such a direct, hey, I meditated and so I had a better day. It's like, okay, it's been practicing this consistently, the awareness of this, and then choosing to let go of that and choosing to focus here, that eventually it becomes natural and you all of a sudden notice, oh, I didn't hold that. Like I feel light. That didn't like get me at all. It didn't trigger me at all. And so that feels exciting to have that awareness of that new level in a way.
Ooh, that's fun. I love that.
Yeah, and there was no efforting. I think the really exciting part, there was no effort to that. I mean, probably at some point there was.
Right. Well, I was just about to say, like, let's just, so that we clarify for our listeners, like, when you say there was no efforting, what do you mean? I know what you mean, and I want to hear it too.
Yeah. So at the beginning, when you're learning to let go of these things, there's some efforting in terms of like, okay, I want to release this. I want to feel this way about this. I want to tell this story instead. And that takes some efforting when you have, some momentum going the other way. But what I just realized is like, now this is easy. Now I've done that enough times that there's no effort.
Yeah. It's almost like instantaneous. Like, yeah. Ooh, I love that. I just got goosebumps.
Is that how you would say it too?
Yeah. Is that, like the putting the effort or putting the energy in to become aware and shift it. And then all of a sudden it becomes automatic,
Yes.
and I don't need to pay attention to that anymore. Right. If it's the things that we're letting go, all of a sudden it's just like, oh, it's not that it doesn't matter. It's just that I don't need it to matter.
Yeah. You're not attached to it. I hear it's one of the things we celebrate big time in skills camp, because when there's a time when you will notice yourself have a reaction, have a naturally easy reaction or happy reaction to something that would have got you in the past.
Yes.
And that's always evidence of the growth, of the shifting.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. So where do you want to get into our topic today? Maybe I'll start with one of those stories.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Okay, cool. So it kind of came up, this topic, because Lisa was sharing how she was having a conversation at work. So just a reminder of the topic, like how your beliefs get in your way of manifesting. And so she was having a conversation at work with someone, and they had come to her. She is known to be very healthy and athletic, and that's, how people see her. And someone came to her asking her advice on health or something. And what they said was, blah, 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 though I know you look down on walkers. And Lisa was like, wait, what? I walk every day. I do not look down on walkers,
Yeah.
And so she even said that. She responded like, hey, that's not, I love walking, and I feel great about anyone who's taking activity and walking.
Right.
I don't have a judgment about it. And so, and Lisa was trying to explain to me how like that, that's so interesting. And I was like, yeah, because that is how he sees you. And you cannot say or do anything to change his mind. It doesn't matter, because he's holding that belief about who you are. So she commented, like, I even responded back and he didn't seem to get it. And so I think this is such a important thing to remember when we're communicating with people, because he holds a belief, or everybody in the whole world holds beliefs, say, about a situation, about a subject, about a person, and it's their belief that is dictating their actions, their responses, and their judgments and everything like that. So, I mean, if that hurt Lisa's feelings at all, because I think this comes up when people will say something to us and then it hurts our feelings, like, hey, that's not who I am, or that's not what I think, or anything like that. It goes against who we believe or who we want to be. Then you're taking that on, and you can see through this example that it literally has nothing to do with Lisa. Like, she doesn't have the power to change this person's mind, nor, like, I mean, maybe she could, but why? Like, there's no point in efforting that, or right, it'd be a lot of energy. And so remembering this when we're communicating with other people, or when someone you feel hurt, I think this is the biggest place it comes. Somebody says something that hurts your feelings and you're like, oh yeah, that actually isn't about me, it's whatever's going on inside them.
Oh, so many things to say about here, because I want to go back even to the beginning, because I want to talk about both sides of this, as in when you get your feelings hurt, and then I also want to talk about the other side of, like, being that person and how checking yourself on your own beliefs can elevate, or how you're sort of laying your beliefs in a generalized way. But yeah, so, oh man, I lost my point. So it can, when it hurts, it is important to know, like, if it's not about you, like, and you get to evaluate and say, is this true? And do I want to invest?
That's a key step,
right?
That is a key step. Understanding, is this true for me?
Because they can't see it differently. Like, Lisa could talk to this guy. She could probably go walking with him, but this, until he's ready to let go. And that's what I mean. It would be a lot of effort, and it probably wouldn't stick. And this goes a little bit back to some of the things we touched on in the comfort zone episode, is that, when we do it on our own, it changes quicker than when someone else is trying to get us to do it. And it sticks when it's us. So it's a lot of energy, and a lot of people put a lot of energy into trying to get someone else to see them a certain way.
See them the way, get other people to see us the way we want to. The way we want them to. Yeah,
and the way that we see ourselves.
Are doing that. Yes. That's a great point. That's a great clarification. And just, it is okay that other people see you differently than you see yourself.
Yeah. You get to choose that, and you get to choose who you really are, and what you answer to, like, I'm trying to find the way to say it, but, like, who you answer to, which is, like, yourself, right? Like, what's important to you, right? So another example that kind of popped up into my mind is maybe somebody who's like not on time a lot, right? Or I don't know if this is the best example I want to use, but just, like, you get to check in with you. Like, maybe it's really important to you that you, like, you go with the flow, but some people are really rigid, right? Or and this easily, people could turn this around to be like, oh, that person is disrespecting me. But, like, if you followed what you did in your life, like, and someone tells you, like, oh, I feel it's disrespectful when you don't show up, like, then it's your choice. Like, do I want to do that? Like, or am I okay with that? And I want to honor this about myself, that I just kind of go with the flow, and, like, my time is loose 5 or 10 minutes, right? I'm trying to think of a better example of that, but it's who you want to, like, it's who you want to be, right? Or you checking into yourself. So, and you get to be that person whether someone sees you that way or not, because they're going to see you through their lens.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes to share with my students is how, like, people are going to judge you no matter what you do. So you
Yes.
might as well do what you want to do. And it really stuck with me a lot, because I'm like, you're right. Like, people have shared opinions of me when I've been doing what they wanted, and shared opinions about me when I'm not doing what they wanted, but it doesn't matter what I'm doing, you know? And
Right.
so if it's not going to, if what I do isn't going to change how they see me, then I'm going to do what is more comfortable for me. I'm going to honor what's important to me. And so I think that's really what we're talking about, is like, you understanding what's important to you so you can act from that place, and being less concerned about how other people see you, more concerned about how you are seeing yourself, and making that your focus.
How you're seeing you and how you're honoring that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that's just as important as how you see, is like, instead of putting the energy in like, oh, I'm going to try and convince them to see who I know I am, like, put the energy into seeing yourself and honoring that, which honoring that means not trying to convince someone else that you're different.
It's so true.
It's honoring to both of you, right? Like, and I would make the argument, or I would make the statement, because it's my belief, that by Lisa letting him just have that and not trying to change him, that he's probably going to change quicker than if she tried to do, because like, now it's like a little bit of information that can kind of get in, and he can process, his brain can take it in the back, instead of somebody like, no, I'm like this, I believe in walkers, because then he has to I can't, the right word isn't coming to me, but he has to get through, like, because what he's done, and what I want to go back to a little bit, is he's put all fit people look down on walkers, some sort of version of that. So therefore,
that's the belief that's underneath there.
Yeah. Lisa is fit.
That walking is less than other things.
And as judged by fit people, right?
Yes.
Like, fit people look down on walkers. They judge it as less than. And Lisa is a fit person, so she looks down on walking automatically.
Right.
Right? And so there's this whole belief up top that has nothing to do with Lisa. She just happens to be a fit person in his mind. She meets that qualification. And so she automatically gets that belief attached to it. And and so that's really important to look at our beliefs too, is like at that higher level. And so when he does that, if Lisa tries to change that, one of the reasons going to be a lot of energy and work is because he believes it about all fit people. And so it's
not just about her.
Right.
Like going to a core belief.
Yeah. So that is like, that's a lot of work to undo, which is why it'd be better just to be like, no, I love walking, and just continue doing her life. Right.
Right.
Which is, of course,
and when you think
does.
about, and to explain it in like that, the vibrational terms of what's going on under there, if she's coming from this place of, I have to prove, I have to change his opinion, change his mind, it's very resistant, right? He already has a resistant idea about it, like that doesn't feel good to him, that I'm looked down upon by fit people or whatnot. And then she's adding more resistance to that with like the gotta push against what he is saying. None of that is allowing. And so also I think it's hilarious because Lisa literally said to me when I said we were going to record, she's like, I feel like I'm the third person on this podcast. She's like, she's like, are your listeners tired of hearing about me? I feel like maybe I should come on and say some other things. And I'm like, yes, we're going to have you on the podcast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So we've talked about it a lot in the ways of like when you're having an interaction with another person and understanding, even the awareness that this person is always and can only ever come from their perspective. And that, I mean, 99, I'm just going to say 100% of the time, it's going to be different than yours because no person lives the same life as you. So we cannot have the same perspective. And that's okay. I just think that's such an important part to communicate, is that we are not meant to see things the same. We are meant to have diverse views. We're meant to have different lenses. And the more we honor that and give space for that, the easier our communication, the more respectful, the more open, the more allowing all of our connections are going to be.
Yes. And we are, as you're saying we're meant to have experiences with each other, not convince each other to be like us.
Yes.
So if you find yourself in a situation like this, like, invite someone into an experience, and maybe they say no, right? But if you're wanting to open more, or just wanting, whatever, like, invite an experience instead of
give an
focusing
example of that,
on,
Cass.
just like this with this coworker. Lisa could just at lunch be like, hey, do you want to go for a walk? And
right.
like, like, I'm going to invite you into an experience. And the answer can be yes, it can be no, but I'm inviting you to an experience. I'm not trying to change your mind. And I'm not going to talk, she's not going to talk the whole walk about, I'm into walking. Like, no, it's just inviting into an experience. And very often, if we would find, because experience is what changes us. Talking doesn't generally change us. Unless
Words do not teach, guys.
Right. And so if you find yourself in any situation with someone, and first of all, be okay with the way they see you, but what you really want under, like, the way that they see you is probably more connection, because we are humans and we want connection. And so if that is what you want, like, stop focusing on what they're saying or what they believe or their lens or how they view you, and invite them into an experience. Maybe they say yes, maybe they say no, but then you're also creating the energy and momentum into experiences with other human beings instead of being focused on the way people see you.
Right. And you're creating more of what you want, more connection.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really powerful, and you said it really casually, but it's like its own life lesson in itself is just be okay with how other people see you is quite major. But I think having, like, if you can get to this point, or if you're open to this, or you're working towards this, that place of I'm okay with how other people see me. Yeah. You're going to have so much more ease in your life. You're going to have, yes. This is a step, this is a part of confidence, of true confidence, is because we're not trying to control how other people see us, is we give them freedom to see us how they want to, or choose to, or based on their life. But it's so freeing for us. And I think I don't know about you, Cass, but it was definitely something I deliberately made peace with along my coaching path, because what I believe is all out there in the world, and my image is all out there in the world. And so I've had to make peace with this a million times over, or I wouldn't be able to be my authentic self. I think that's an essential part of it.
Me too. Yeah. And it was interesting that we picked this topic, or it came up today, because just a couple of days ago, or maybe even this morning, I was thinking about this. I don't know why, probably because of this show. It popped into this. I got this email one time, and it was when I was doing an offer 2 years ago. And I remember I was getting ready to leave my brother's house to go to my parents' beach house for the week. And I sent out this email, and I accidentally sent it to the wrong, I don't know what I did. I did something wrong. And so I sent a follow-up email, and one of the emails I got back was scathing. It was like, oh, I'm sure you sent it out accidentally and you're headed to the beach. There's no beaches in Colorado, and maybe I should call the IRS and the Better Business Bureau so they know about you. And I'm like, do you think I don't pay my taxes? Like, I was just like, okay. Like, and I was like, this is this person, right? But I was like, okay, none of this is true, right? Like, is any of this true? Like, I'm not in Colorado. I'm not going to a beach in Colorado, but there are lake beaches, for the record. But it was just like, none of this is true. And so, yeah, I've had to do it because my beliefs out there, but also because the more people you expose yourself to, the more people find you. You can open up for an even bigger world, right? And so you have to be, those don't happen very often. Like, I don't think I've gotten one in 2 years, but it was just so like, oh, okay. But again, I go through that, like, that's your lens, that person's lens looks something like, everyone is trying to screw you. People are lying to me. There's no way to have a happy life. And I can't fix that. There's no, you know, like I can send them love. I can evaluate myself and be like, is this me? Nope. And I can send them some love, but I am never going to fix that person or have that person see me differently, or they don't need to be fixed. Because they have to want something different. And when they do, if they, you know, find their way back, great. If not, whatever. But I can't change them. No amount of words would ever change them. No amount of like, but look at what I do, or look at what I do, or like, you know, or sending them a picture that I'm actually going to the beach. Like, none of that matters.
And that kind of trying to validate yourself through external examples, like if Cass was to say, but look at all these people I help, but look at my program, but look, I do go to a beach, but I am whatever they were complaining about. That's all external, and that even if that person then came to say, oh, you're right, that is a very temporary satisfaction for Cass, because that's not where that feeling comes from. It comes from inside and within you. You have to know within yourself that this is who I am and this is what's important to me, and nothing outside of you will ever give you that fulfillment. No matter how many people confirm what you're trying to prove, it is always only temporary. We're getting into like way off tangents. It's awesome.
We are, but I think it all kind of ties in to this very, you know, with very simple examples in life often take us to other places. And kind of my wrap up point, since you brought up proving, right? Like when we're proving, if we're always, from a law of attraction standpoint, if you are trying to prove to anyone, you are always going to attract more people that you have to prove yourself to. Because if your mind, like, I'm going to prove to so-and-so I can do it, I'm going to prove I can do this, like, you have to get things that you have to prove to, whether those are people or circumstances. And so just that is even a more conscious place too of, no, I just want to own who I am and what I do. I don't want to be proving that. I just want to own it.
What about, I've heard this before, I want to prove to myself.
I mean, I don't want to prove to myself. I want to believe in myself.
Yeah. I think it's
it's
powerful
topic.
to, yeah, it is. I know I'm opening a can of worms, but just quickly on that is like, just even restructuring how you're viewing that. Instead of proving to yourself, it's more about, I want to be who I am. I want to know who I am. I want to be myself. Because proving has everything to do with external, and just like we were saying, nothing comes from there. Nothing full or true. It has to be connected to something inside. And go ahead.
I was going to say, when you're proving, go ahead.
I was just going to wrap it up and kind of bring it back to how, so Cass and I were talking about how you have this lens and you're experiencing reality based on what you believe. And just for our topic today, a big way that gets in the way of your manifesting is when you are more focused on another person's bubble or another person's lens more than you are yours. So it's a great way to just think about this concept of lenses and becoming more aware of them, understanding we can only ever come from our own lens. And if you're getting your nose in somebody else's lens, pull it out. It's none of your business, and you only have to do yours. And the cool thing is if their perception or their comments to you are touching your lens, like giving you some sort of reaction, it's for you. Like, there's something within you to move your journey forward or help you expand, but it has nothing to do with them at all. It doesn't have to do with them. It's to do with you. And that's how you remain and practice being that conscious, deliberate creator.
Yeah. And just because we got to wrap this up, but so even, and it's okay if you're like, no, I love walking. Like, if you say that and there's nothing that follows or proving, like, that's okay. You're just reiterating to yourself. Just because you said that doesn't mean they were touching your bubble with their thoughts and beliefs.
Right.
It just means you're reminding yourself.
Yeah. You're owning. So yeah, using that example with Lisa, she just happily says like, I love walking, period. You know, nothing, there's no need to go any, but it's powerful to own that within yourself, whatever it is. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I feel like we need to extend to a what happens when you're trying to prove to yourself topic.
I agree.
But we'll save that for another one. Have a great week, guys.
Bye.
Go be awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the Manifest It Now show, where you learn how to leverage the law of attraction to manifest your dreams. Now that you're inspired, share the love and review us on iTunes. While you're there, remember to subscribe.